The first season of the merger between these two leagues, the XFL and the USFL, have made the United Football League a success. Overall, the TV ratings have been solid, and Fox and Redbird Capital are reportedly very happy with the UFL ratings. Attendance outside of St. Louis has been disappointing, and I would argue that the numbers in San Antonio, Washington, D.C., and Birmingham have been good, or at least good enough. Birmingham's attendance seems to have been impacted by weather. They've had some really low numbers due to bad weather, and they have some good numbers. But with the other four teams, the highest attendance came in Week 1 for the Arlington Renegades. And with these four teams, the Arlington Renegades, the Michigan Panthers, the Houston Roughnecks, and the Memphis Showboats averaged less than 10,000 fans per home game. Of the 8 total teams in the league who can pull their own weight, that's 3 or maybe 4 teams that can get fans to come and see them play, which isn't a good thing at all. Should the UFL expand or not? Here's my analysis. Reason 1. Increased reach and exposure. Expansion would allow the UFL to tap into new markets, grow its fan base, and increase its national and international presence. Reason 2. More competitive balance. Adding new teams could lead to a more balanced league, creating more competitive matchups and exciting games, and would also create new rivalries. Reason 3. New talent and markets. Expansion would provide opportunities to discover new talent, attract new sponsors, and develop new revenue streams. Reason 4. Enhanced reputation. A larger, more diverse league could enhance the UFL's reputation as a premier professional football organization. Why the UFL might not want to expand. Reason 1. Quality over quantity. The UFL may prioritize maintaining a high level of competition and quality among its existing teams rather than diluting the talent pool with expansion. Reason 2. Stability and consistency. The league may focus on establishing long-term stability and consistency among its current teams before expanding. Reason 3. Financial considerations. Expansion requires significant investment in new teams, infrastructure, and resources, which may not be feasible or wise at this time. Reason 4. Preserving the league's identity. The UFL may want to maintain its current size and structure to preserve its unique identity and competitive balance. To me, I think that they should wait until 2026 at the earliest for an expansion, and let the league establish themselves first and grow in popularity before thinking about expansion. The first team to reinstate is the Seattle Sea Dragons. They were part of the XFL in 2020 and again in 2023. In attendance figures, the team was one of the more successful teams in that category. In 2 games in 2020, they averaged 25,616, and in 2023, they averaged 12,328 per home game. But overall in those 2 seasons, they played a total of 7 home games, with an average of 16,124 spectators per home game. The New Orleans Breakers were part of the USFL from 2022 to 2023, and were one of the most successful teams in that league at the time. In those 2 seasons for them, they had a combined record of 13 wins and 9 losses, and making the playoffs in both campaigns, losing both to the Stallions. The New Jersey Generals were another team that was part of the USFL from 2022 to 2023. During those 2 seasons, they had a combined record of 12 wins and 9 losses, and they made the playoffs just once in that time. The Philadelphia Stars were part of the USFL from 2022 to 2023. In those 2 seasons that the team existed, they made 1 championship game appearance in 2022, and overall their combined record was 11 wins and 11 losses. The Pittsburgh Maulers were another team that was part of the USFL from 2022 to 2023. In those 2 seasons, the team never had a winning record, but they did make a USFL championship game appearance in 2023, and overall their combined record was 6 wins and 16 losses. The Orlando Rage were a team from the original XFL in 2001. Back then, they had the 3rd best attendance figures in the 2001 XFL season, with an average of 25,563 people in attendance, and they also had an average filled stadium of 71%, and that was the 2nd best mark of that category. The Las Vegas Outlaws were another team from the original XFL back in 2001. Las Vegas did have an XFL team in 2023 called the Vipers, which that team relocated from Tampa Bay with the same name. If you compared these two teams, the Outlaws and the Vipers, in attendance figures, the Outlaws had an average 22,618 spectators, and the Vipers averaged 6,028 people per home game. Also, the Outlaws had an average filled stadium of 61%, and the Vipers had the worst attendance in the XFL, but that could be because of the stadium they used. In my opinion, the Outlaws were more well-known to the community than the Vipers were, and if I had to pick between these two names for the city, I would pick the Outlaws. Both the XFL Vipers and the USFL Bandits were both in the city at one time. The Tampa Bay Vipers were here back in the 2020 XFL, and the Bandits were located here during the 2022 USFL season, but the Bandits did not play a single game in the city. In the history between these two teams, the Vipers don't have that much history in the city, and that's because they were relocated for the 2023 XFL season. And for the Bandits, their name does have some history, by being part of the original USFL from 1983 to 1985. That old team name represents success and was both successful on the field and in attendance figures, which would be a great idea to bring back an old name. The Denver Gold were an original USFL team that lasted from 1982 to 1985. They played a total of 2 seasons in the league and made just 1 playoff appearance. The city of Denver hasn't had a spring football team since the Denver Gold folded in 1985. Denver is the smallest of the 13 U.S. cities with teams from the 4 major professional sports. So in my opinion, I think that this name would be a great idea to resurrect in the future. The New York Guardians were part of the XFL in 2020. In attendance figures, the team was the second worst in the 2020 XFL, averaging 14,875 people per home game, but they only played 2 home games until COVID canceled the season. In one of those 2 home games, they did have 17,634 people in attendance, and that was in Week 1. Teams that the UFL should possibly look at from other old leagues. First up, the San Diego Fleet from the AAF. The team existed for only 1 season, which wasn't complete because the league suspended operations and eventually filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. San Diego hasn't had a professional football team since the Chargers left in 2017. And I believe that this name would be a good idea to resurrect in the future. The Sacramento Mountain Lions were part of the original UFL from 2009 to 2012. Even though they played games in underwhelming stadiums, they posted strong numbers in attendance figures in their short history. This would be a great market and would be a good old team name to bring back. The Salt Lake Stallions were part of the now defunct AAF in 2019. The team was only able to play 4 home games until the season was canceled. And in those 4 games, they averaged 9,067 spectators per game. Even with that low attendance figures, I think that this name should be brought back, and the city of Salt Lake should get another opportunity to have a football franchise. The Arizona Hotshots were another team from the defunct AAF in 2019. They played 4 of the 5 home games until the season was canceled. In those 4 home games, they averaged 9,932 spectators, which wasn't that great. Arizona could be a great destination for a future UFL team, and if they pick this city in the future, they should consider bringing back this team name. First up, Portland, Oregon, a city known for its passion and dedication, with many sports teams from minor league to all the way to professional sports leagues. This wonderful city includes 3 major league sports franchises: the Trailblazers from the NBA, the Timbers from MLS, and the Thorns FC from the NWSL. And the city lacks a professional football team still, with Portland being the largest city in the state of Oregon and is the 26th most populated city in the United States, the 6th most populous on the West Coast, and the 2nd most populous in the Pacific Northwest, after Seattle. Portland is the 19th most populated metro area in the United States. Portland contains only 1 franchise from the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB, making it the United States' 2nd most populated metro area with that distinction behind San Antonio. The idea for a UFL team in the city would help the local economy, and with Portland's quirky culture and vibe, offer a chance for a UFL team to establish a distinctive brand and identity, by also having a professional football team in the city that can have a positive impact on the community, promoting youth football development, health, and wellness initiatives. The city already has a ready UFL stadium in Providence Park, which is a really great venue. In my opinion, I think that this city is a great location for a future expansion, and the city would likely embrace a UFL team. Canton, Ohio. The birthplace of professional football. The city is where the NFL was founded in 1920, making it a historic and significant location for professional football. Also, the city is the home to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, which attracts thousands of football fans each year. With a UFL team in the city could leverage this existing infrastructure and fan base. The city already has a ready UFL stadium in Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, which was used as the championship game for the USFL in 2022 and in 2023, and also served as a hub in the USFL in 2023. The city and the surrounding region have a strong and dedicated football fan base, ensuring a solid foundation for support and attendance. By having a UFL team in the city could tap into the rich football history and heritage, creating a distinctive brand and identity that honors the sport's legacy. To me, this is a great location to think about for the future. Oakland, California. The city has a rich football history. Unfortunately, they haven't had a professional team since the Oakland Raiders moved to Las Vegas after the 2019 season. Oakland has also been the host to two other football teams in its history, with the first team being the Hornets from the AFL in 1944, and the other team was the Invaders from the original USFL. At the moment, the city of Oakland only has one of the four major professional sports leagues, and that's the Oakland A's, and they are moving also after the 2024 season. With all of the major sports teams that the city has lost, this would be a great location for a UFL team because they won't have much competition in the future. Adding a team in Oakland would create a natural rivalry with a San Francisco-based UFL team if that city ever gets a team in the future. If this city is ever considered for a UFL expansion in the future, I believe that the city will welcome a football team back with open arms. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The city is the capital and the largest city in the state. The state of Oklahoma is a football-mad state, and Oklahoma City has a strong following for the sport. Oklahoma has a rich football tradition, producing top talent from colleges like Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. At the moment, the city doesn't have any professional football teams as of yet, but they do have one professional sports team called the Thunder from the NBA. Oklahoma City is a rapidly growing city with a strong economy and increasing population. Adding a team in Oklahoma City would create a natural rivalry with Arlington, San Antonio, and Houston-based UFL teams, enhancing the league's competitive balance. The city is strategically located in the center of the country, making it easily accessible for teams and fans from both coasts of the nation. In my opinion, I think Oklahoma City could be a huge market for the league and would be an excellent idea. Omaha, Nebraska. The city has a strong and dedicated fan base with a proven track record of supporting local sports teams. Omaha is the largest city in the state and is the 39th largest city in the country. The city is a growing city with a strong economy, new businesses, and increasing population. At the moment, the city doesn't have any professional football teams as of yet, but does have several minor league sports teams. The state of Nebraska is known for its rich football tradition, producing top talent from the University of Nebraska and other colleges. Having a UFL team in this city would bring new revenue, jobs, and investments to the local economy. Also, Omaha has a strong sense of community, offering opportunities for the UFL team to engage with fans and make a positive impact on the city. I would say this location should be put on the list for a future expansion.
So those are the former teams and possible new cities for a future expansion. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments section. If you're new, please consider subscribing and also hit that notification bell. And if you love sports, this is definitely the place for you. And also share this video with more sports fans. For more UFL and football videos, please click up here. And thank you so much for watching. My name is Nathan, and I'll see you guys all next time. Just keep loving sports.